Hello everybody and welcome to another Transformers third party review. Today, thanks to the guys over at The Chosen Prime, I'm taking a look at the latest offering from Fans Toys in the form of Spotter, aka Reflector. This is their interpretation of the masterpiece Reflector. Now, we have had one of these before. We had the Make Toys Visualizers, which I actually have here with me. There we go. This video is basically going to be having a quick look at Spotter and just comparing it to see whether or not it's worth us purchasing it if we already have the visualizers, and if we don't have either, which is the one to buy. Straight off the bat, first impressions, this feels extremely heavy. It's got that really robust die-cast feel to it that we get with all of the Fans Toys products. The plastic quality is absolutely amazing. It feels really, really solid, and it really does look the part. It really does capture that G1 look of Reflector. I like the Make Toys visualizers, but it just doesn't have that same kind of look to it. I mean, just look at the depth, for example. Visualizers is a really, really nice toy, and the bot modes are fantastic, but the camera mode is a little bit lackluster in my opinion. It does look somewhat boxy in comparison to the Spotter figure. It just looks a lot more like that G1 camera that we got with the original Reflector. Let's take a look at the fine detailing on him. Got this really, really nice front lens here. Nice, very subtle detailing on him. There's nothing really, really untoward. Nothing that jumps out and screams, wow, look at me. It's just a good looking kind of camera. There's your viewing lens there, you look through there. Very, very, I say disappointed. I think there could have been a different design choice there for the head. It just does still look a lot like a head with a mask plate on. But again, that's a nice representation of the G1 toy. Very, very nice camera mode. Love the flash section here as well. Really, really shiny. Now, the downside to this alt mode is the fact there's a lot of, well, I won't say parts forming. These sections, like the flash for example, comes off and becomes weapons. The front lens comes off and becomes two weapons. We don't get that with the visualizers. The visualizers incorporate every piece you see on the camera becomes part of the bots. I'm not saying this is a bad choice, because our bots need weapons. You know, they do look good holding guns. I just don't know if there would have been a way of them incorporating this all into the transformation, because there's a lot going on here and we're getting amazingly accurate figures. Now, as far as additional accessories go, we do get individual pistols as well. They're pretty uniform looking, all the same, which is kind of what I wanted for this trio. And we do get a very small camera, again pretty much the same with a removable flash, and you get the little head version there. It's good. It's a really nice touch. It really just does look like a tiny little version of our Reflector team. In comparison, we have the Make Toys version, which is a bit chunkier. It does look a little bit oversized in some of the Masterpiece hands, but again, it's a good little prop nonetheless. I just think that the Fans Toys does just kind of get it this time round. Now, as far as alt mode goes, scale-wise, he's only going to scale with certain figures. I mean, we can bring in the likes of our Masterpiece cars, and it looks absolutely ridiculous. Basically, he's designed to scale with the likes of Soundwave, Megatron, and of course, Perceptor. He's meant to be an actual one-to-one scale camera, which, yes, he ticks all of those boxes. Now, one little addition I would have liked, now of course this is a pre-production sample, so we may get one with the final release. I would have liked a little clip on the bottom so we can add this to a tripod like we could with the visualizers. It's just a nice little addition just to make it look that little bit more realistic. I mean, in all fairness, how many like Canons and Sonys and Kodaks or anything do you see which are bright purple? Probably not that many, but it's a nice little add-on. Right, to get this team changed up into their bot mode, as I mentioned earlier on, slight piece of parts forming. Just detach the lens, it's held on by this section here, plugging in. Let's remove the flash. Now this section here all needs to split up because this top piece is all attached to here. This goes to him. This top piece attached to here, it goes to him. Now it's difficult to try and pull this section up and away from this section. So I found the easiest way of doing that is to slide this section here. You see there's a peg here and a peg. If we just push on this and slide that down slightly, work that down, and down, and down. It just starts to free up this section here. So we can just grab that, unplug that, put him over to the side. And again with this side, just unplug, and put him over to the side. Now again, for a comparison, let's just look how these individual side sections looked. I love the Make Toys visualizers. It was a great figure, and it does look really, really good, but these sections were just such a darn pain to peg in. I always struggled to get them to go completely straight. There was just too many tabs. I think they overcomplicated it. It's a box. It's a really neat, tidy box. I mean, side-on view says it all. Right, let's start with the top section here. We'll just sort of lift that up, revealing a very, very good face sculpt there. Rock this section upwards here. Fold this section back like so, and this whole section here is going to just slide up so it becomes loose on the top there, and that now allows us to rotate this whole top section around, and that's going to just tab in there, and when we eventually fold these sections down, that's going to be part of the backpack section. Untab these side skirt sections, lift that up and lift that up, gently apply this bottom piece down and rock that one back. This now frees up this entire crotch section here. Then applying a little bit of force to the back there, just slide the arm up and out of the way, just freeing up all that extra space there. He's starting to come together. Pull back the legs, and you want to just slide and extend those. Bring this back section here just round to the back for now. Lift the side panel sections up just so we can fully extend the legs around. This crotch section here can come to the back. They are actually going to tab into one another like so. Just bring the arms around, and this arm around. Bring this crotch section down and around to the back. We can now bring the legs down just so they're straight, and come round, and where this crotch section was, you can now bend that back up, and that's going to form the butt flap. Put these side skirts back down and back down. There's this purple section just on the inside of this backpack. Flip that around, and there's a tab here and a slot just there. You're going to bring that around and going to slot that into place. Do the same with this side. I've already brought it down. You need to apply pressure, push that into place. Tilt his head block just down a notch. Slide up the chest section so the head is now fully upwards. And then roll this backpack once over again, and that's now going to just tab in behind there to form his back section, sealing off the back of the arms, and then we can just bring this section back down, and there we have his backpack. That's fantastic. I love that. The arms can just slide, and pretty much the same with every Masterpiece figure these days. Flip that out, flip the hands out, and close that off. And last but not least, you just want to get your nail under there, just flick out the toes and just rock the foot slightly so we have some really nice pivoting feet. Now the other two team members, who for the purpose of video I'm calling Chaz and Babe, these two have a pretty much identical transformation, apart from this is on the side of him and this was on the other side of Dave. So what do you want to do? You want to lift this section up and lift this section up here. you want to come around to this crotch section. Again, just flap open these side flappy panels. Just move those up and out of the way. Come around to this center crotch piece, move that section down. And this is basically all that tabs into the back here. So we can now unplug those legs slightly. We can then work the legs, lift up the arms like we did with the other figure. Lift those up and bring those out. Lift that up and bring that out like so. Let's just pull up the head and turn it around, revealing dun, 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 a smirk. The legs, we can now come around to these. This section here can untab. We can pull the legs backwards, work them out, extending the joint fully, like so. Lift the side skirt panel up. Lift the side skirt panel up. Bring the legs round. Bring this section up to the back. Bring the kind of back of his pants back up. Tab those on. We then bring the legs back around and pop the skirt back down. Again, bring the legs back down. Pop the skirt back down. Come to these sections here, bring those down and fill out the chest. Tab that in. Bring the section down, bring it down, fill out the chest. Flip these to the back of the legs, like so. Flip this round to the back of the leg, like so. We now have heel spurs for these ones. Bring that out, bring that out. Heels and feet still rotate the same. Pop out the toes. Come round, lengthen, straighten, and flip out the hands. Like so. Rotate. So lengthen, adjust, and flip out the hand like so. Bring it down and square that up. The backpack section, tab these together. Roll it over like you did the last time. Roll it over again. That's going to plug in and tab in squarely on the back. Tab this section down. Now this back section here took me ages to work out because obviously it's pre-production, we don't get instructions. I kept thinking, how on earth do I get that up there? This here is actually on a sliding hook, so we can slide the hook up with it, and as we bring that up we can kind of rotate this section up, and that actually brings the hook, which is in here, up into this back section. So trying to do it whilst I'm on camera now. Just wiggle it up so it's now in the top section. And then we can bring these all the way around and rotate them up. And then flip this section up here. And flip this section up here. Now we can just bring this section back round and pull this back section down like so. Closing off his backpack. Bloody genius. And then we have them transformed up into their robot modes. They look incredible, don't they? They really, really do. Pre-productions do have flaws. These flappy panels on the back here are way too flappy. They just flap around there. But all in all, these look absolutely incredible. I'm hoping these are like the finalised colours because they are spot on. Articulation wise, head goes up, head goes down, left and right. Shoulders all the way around. Great upwards motion there. Upper bicep rotation. There's only a single jointed elbow. It looks like a double in there, but it is only a single jointed elbow. Still a nice range there. Rotation on the wrists. Fingers are all locked on with a single pin. Waist rotation, no ab rocker. Forwards Backwards motion is hindered by the bum skirt, unfortunately. It would have done with some flaps here on an individual axis, because it doesn't go any further back than that. We do have thigh rotation. We do have a double jointed bend at the knee, and of course we do have those crazy ankle pivots. No real forward and backwards motion on the feet though. It is literally the movement on the toe and just the pivoting. The guns for these are held in using the peg, and we can just bring the hands in over that. Really love that trigger looking finger there. Sorry, just that face just makes me laugh. It's like, hi. It's a really derpy face. Such character there. Let's start taking apart some of these accessories to give them some more weapons for their arsenal. Just unplug these sections here. This section here is going to split into two. That is a knife and a sheath to attach to the leg. Same with this one. This section here, you want to slide the handle back, push this section all the way back like so. And do the same with this one. Push the handle back, slide this chrome section all the way back, and then you can move the handles back forward. Come to this section here, and we've got another knife stowed away in there. Out you come. Like so. Now, unfortunately, both these knife sections have pegs in exactly the same place, so you can't put one on this leg and one on the opposite leg on his opposite number, which is a shame. Would have liked it to have been kind of symmetrical, but hey, they can carry the knives on the same legs. Come over to the lens, and you want to split this into three. These sections compress, and they are going to come along, and there is a tab just there that's going to slide in and tab in like so, making a large rifle. We can do the same with the other side. Bring this in, bring that in, and slide that into the hole like so. So we've got two more guns. And to transform the last part of his gun, you just want to just wiggle this piece off here, wiggle this section off here. These are going to untab from this side, and it's just going to slide for the second, and slide. Rotate the green section all the way around, and then rotate it on the top like so. This section here is going to slide back. There's a handle here we can bring down. As we slide this section back, I don't know if you can see, there's a couple of tabs just under here and just under here. That's going to locate in there. This one's going to come over and locate in the opposite side, just like so. This front section is going to roll around. You're going to come to this section here and flip open this gun section, and then there's this tab here. This, you need to just wiggle this section at the back here and bring this down, so when it rotates, this tab here lines up with this section here, and that tabs in. And that's kind of now like a big hand cannon thing. Now, my initial reaction is, oh, the handles aren't upside down. That's not actually the case. We can bring in our figure. You can slide the post into his hand. I like to open the fingers, it just feels a little bit easier. And there's actually a tab at the bottom of his hand, and this sideways tab here, and you've got corresponding holes either side. So line up the corresponding tabs. This side is in, and this side is now in. And there we have it on his arm. That is fantastic. I mean, that is not going anywhere. Same goes for these cannons. You have the peg here, and you have a peg that lines up with the arm. So we can open up the hand, slot that in, and tab the peg in, and then close the fist around the peg. And there we go. I think I could probably It does untab if you put all the weight on the gun, but I mean, that's how securely it's fastened in. The end of those guns still make me laugh. Sauron. And here they all are, kitted up with all their weapons. I was watching MGo's review, and he couldn't find a place for this either. I actually have no idea where it's meant to go. The idea is that we can store it on the back using these tabs, but none of these seem to fit at all. I mean, it's just a little bit loose. Not really sure where it would go. It would make sense if it kind of slid underneath the gun, I guess, kind of fixing off this area here, kind of blocking it up a bit. Don't honestly think there's anywhere it can go though. Kind of wish it's just a little bit too fat to slide in there, I think, isn't it? Yeah, it's not designed to go in there. Yeah, so unfortunately this piece is kind of left over. I'm not really sure what to do with it. And at the same time, obviously, the knife which comes from it, there's nowhere apparent to store the knife other than in here. So, other than that, pretty much everything has a place. For all you scale junkies out there, this is how they compare with some other Season 1, Season 2 G1 inspired masterpiece figures. Some say they're a little tall. I personally think they're a very, very good size, considering they are, what in essence, I guess, a scout, aren't they? They're kind of sent out for reconnaissance. And one of the episodes, the name escapes me, but there were like 12 or 13 of these guys all lined up. Here they are with some of the Autobots, just to give you an idea of how they'd scale if they got into a bit of rough and tumble. Again, you know, they're kind of the size of our MP cars. So I think that's a pretty good standard size. And here they all are with Team Visualizers. See, they are a very, very similar height. I really like Reflector. I think he's such a great character. He wasn't given enough love in the animation, I don't think. He does have character. I think Fans Toys have personally pulled this figure off better this time round, but I no means have any regrets purchasing the visualizers. As I mentioned in my visualizers review, I intend to get the KFC version of this figure as well, because I'm going to reenact that scene where there's like 12 of these guys all over the cliff and all part of the Decepticon troops. And I think it's nice to kind of mix them up a bit and have them looking a little bit different. Now, depending on what you want, I believe the visualizers are on the Chosen Prime for $144, I think, for the set, and the Fans Toys spotter is on there for $154. So you're paying $10 more. Are they worth $10 more? Yes, without a doubt. The plastic quality is slightly upgraded to that of the Make Toys. You do have die cast in the feet. They're very robust. They hold their poses extremely well, and that's really good, simplistic transformation. Not basic by any means, still definitely of a masterpiece standard, but it does seem to tab together and hold together better than what we got with the Make Toys offering. Now, if you have the visualizers already, do you need the Fans Toys in your collection? If you're me, yes you do. If you're somebody else, possibly not. I mean, they are a good stand-in for that character. If you don't have either, I would go for Fans Toys. That's my personal preference. I just think they look more like the animation counterpart, and they tick a lot more boxes in my book. Having the die cast in these figures does really help when it comes to bringing out some amazingly well balanced poses, and I am definitely going to go and order these once I finish the review. Before I send these back to the Chosen Prime, I'm going to put up a full gallery on Benscollectables.com. If you have any requests for any particular shots or any particular comparisons, please let me know in the comments section below. I've also included a link direct to the Chosen Prime order page for this toy. Thank you everybody for watching. If you found the video useful, give it a big thumbs up, like and subscribe. And until next time, from myself and Spotter, goodbye.